And what good would it do him? I mean, if you were to succeed, it's like all right, you got a 75-year-old Jehovah's Witness, all right? One of my hobbies when witnesses come to the door is to mess with them. Having been one, I know what their beliefs are, and I know how they have pat answers to just about any question that you can ask them. I know the questions they don't have pat answers to. I have, left them just kind of literally with their hands shaking because they've been slammed to the mat gently over and over again. And my goal in doing that is to plant little seeds of doubt that may, at some point, blossom and make them say, this is garbage, and escape. But, the other day, actually, a couple of months ago, I had this really nice old lady, she's like 75 years old, come and offer me a Watchtower, and I wasn't going to do that to her. Because what am I going to do? Rip her out of her cult and where she'll be abandoned by all of her friends and family and everything she's known for her whole life? That's not going to accomplish anything. It's not going to be any good for her or any good for anybody. So, yeah, when you're dealing with folks who are really ingrained in their ways, I think that the best thing that you can do is try and change their minds as far as their perception of people who believe differently or who don't believe, and just leave it at that. And, just let them believe what they want to. But say, okay, well, look, did you see where the atheist group, went to the soup kitchen or whatever, and just try and maybe smooth out some of their prejudices a little bit.
Do you think it's possible that we could all come to a place at some point and see that our beliefs are all functions of our past experiences? I mean, it's hard to say no to that, but yet it sort of seems like it takes away our ability to look ahead and choose, or does it not? I mean, are our beliefs in deities or whatever we choose to believe, is it just a direct function of, depends upon what we have experienced before? Like, how would you express that? Because if it is, then everybody could come together and at least have some kind of uniting understanding of how life works and beliefs.
Well, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because if you grew up in India, you have grown up in a society with a completely different set of gods. They don't have one god; they have multiple gods. They have an entirely different set of gods. So so a lot of the people that are hardcore Christians now would be hardcore Hindus if they had grown up in India, or they might be Jainists, or they might believe in tribal gods if they'd grown up in Africa. So yeah, we're certainly all very much a product of our environment.
5 days after the hurricane hit down in New Orleans, the president's plan was for a day of prayer. I would have thought a truck of food. A day of prayer. Now, maybe I'm mistaken here, and again, I'm not a scientific expert, but isn't a hurricane officially an act of God? Isn't a day of prayer kind of redundant? The president has us do a day of prayer. 3 days later, Hurricane Rita hits. Somebody must have said something during the day of prayer, something like, "Is that all you got, bitch?"
When it comes to believing in God, I really tried. I really tried. I tried to believe that there is a God who created each of us in his own image and likeness, loves us very much, and keeps a close eye on things. I really tried to believe that, but I gotta tell you, the longer you live, the more you look around, the more you realize something is fucked up. Something is wrong here. War, disease, death, destruction, hunger, filth, poverty, torture, crime, corruption, and the ice-capades. Something is definitely wrong. This is not good work. If this is the best God can do, I am not impressed. Results like these do not belong on the resume of a supreme being. This is the kind of shit you'd expect from an office temp with a bad attitude. And just between you and me, in any decently run universe, this guy would have been out on his all-powerful ass a long time ago. If there is a God, if there is, I think most reasonable people might agree that he's at least incompetent and maybe, just maybe, doesn't give a shit. Which I admire in a person and which would explain a lot of these bad results. You know who I prayed to? Joe Pesci. Two reasons. First of all, I think he's a good actor, okay? To me, that counts. Second, he looks like a guy who can get things done. In fact, Joe Pesci came through on a couple of things that God was having trouble with. So I've been praying to Joe for about a year now, and I noticed something. I noticed that all the prayers I used to offer to God and all the prayers I now offer to Joe Pesci are being answered at about the same 50% rate. Half the time I get what I want, half the time I don't. Same as God, 50-50. Same as the four-leaf clover, the horseshoe, the rabbit's foot, and the wishing well. Same as the mojo man. Same as the voodoo lady who tells you your fortune by squeezing the goat's testicles. It's all the same, 50-50. So just pick your superstition, sit back, make a wish, and enjoy yourself. And for those of you who look to the Bible for its literary qualities and moral lessons, I got a couple of other stories I might like to recommend for you. You might enjoy The Three Little Pigs. That's a good one, has a nice happy ending. Then there's Little Red Riding Hood. And finally, I've always drawn a great deal of moral comfort from Humpty Dumpty. The part I like the best, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's because there is no Humpty Dumpty and there is no God. None, not one, never was, no God. In fact, I'm going to put it this way. If there is a God, may he strike me dead. See? Nothing happened. Oh, wait, got a little cramp in my leg. Oh, now I'm okay again. Must have been Joe Pesci, huh?